Hi YouTube friends, this is Heidi Viegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and I got the Polypore mushroom that I foraged the other day all chopped up here, and so I thought I would talk about how to do a dual extraction. It takes a little bit of time, so I'm going to actually just share the directions with you and get the first part of it started, and then just tell you how I will finish it up at the end. And then when the tincture part of it's ready, I'll come back and do another video at that time. In the meantime, if you are interested in learning more about this red belted polypore mushroom that I foraged last week, you can see the video up here. Wow, you can see where we were at on our property when we found it, and I just tell you all about the medicinal benefits of this amazing mushroom. And in the meantime, though, we're going to focus this video on how to do a dual extraction. And why would you want to anyway? So let's just talk about what an herbal extraction is. An herbal extraction is basically anytime you put a medicinal herb into a solvent of some kind, or a menstruum is another word for it. What happens is that menstruum extracts the valuable medicinal constituents and gives you a preparation at the end of the process that you can use as your own herbal medicine at home. So polysaccharides are a compound that are found in many mushrooms, but especially the really hard ones, the shelf mushrooms, reishi, chaga. Many of the mushrooms are full of polysaccharides and other constituents. And the thing is some herbs, like these mushrooms, do best in preparations where there's a combination of different solvents used, or menstruums. So mushrooms extract pretty well in decoctions of water. So that's the first part of the phase we're going to do. We're going to decoct these mushroom bits for a very long time on the stove in water and extract the constituents in the water solution that way. And then the next part of what we're going to do is to create an alcohol tincture. And the alcohol tincture will, because we're using high proof alcohol, will extract the other compounds that weren't extracted in the water. So that's basically what we're going to do here. If you want to read an article that I wrote a while back on my website about which chemical compounds are best extracted in which solvent or menstruum, I'll put a link in the description below. So down below where it says show more, just click there, and all of my information will pop up in all the links, and I'll put a link to that article below too. So it's a very good article to read if you're interested in what should you use for your herbal extracts. Should you use water? Should you use alcohol? Should you use vinegar? Would glycerin be better? So I actually talk about all of those different solvents plus some others. Alrighty, so let's go to the kitchen, and I'm going to get this on the stove and start decocting it. One last thing before we head to the kitchen. You might be wondering what a decoction is and when you use a decoction. So water extracts are extracted a couple of different ways. The typical one that you're familiar with and that is most common is just steeping your herbs in water. That's called a cold infusion or a hot infusion, depending on whether or not you're using cold or hot water. And what you end up with is a tisane or an herbal tea. In fact, if you want to know about how to formulate your own herbal teas, I'll link to that article here too. It's a really great, it's not an article, I'm sorry, it's a video, but it's a really great video, and you can get started formulating your own herbal teas yourself. But anyway, that is one way to use water to extract the medicinal constituents from your herbs. The other way is to do a decoction. A decoction is when you simmer the herbal matter in water for a period of time, usually 30 to 45 minutes. But in the case of these mushrooms, we're going to go longer. We're going to actually decoct for, I'm going to say, a couple of hours, because again, it is pretty difficult to get the medicinal constituents out of these mushrooms, these shelf mushrooms. So that's what a decoction is. You basically simmer your herbal matter for a while. The plant parts that you use for an infusion or steeping they're generally going to be your leaves, your flowers, your stems, the softer parts of the plant. The plant parts that you use, and this is in general, because you can certainly steep these harder parts too, but the parts that you want to decoct, especially if you want a strong medicinal infusion, are going to be your seeds, your roots, your barks, the harder parts. So that's just a general guideline for when you decoct and when you steep and all of that. And I feel like I left one of the plant parts out, but that's okay. I'll remember it and probably put it down in the description or in one of the comments. All right, so now let's head to the kitchen. I'll get this on the stove. All right, so here we go. I gave the mushrooms a good little rinse first, and then I added them to my saucepan. There are about 2 cups of the Polypore mushroom that I cut up and about 1.5 quarts of water. So I've got plenty of water in here, and I'm just going to get it to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down to as low as possible and just simmer it, and I'm going to simmer it gently for the next hour or 2. I'll just be checking on it, and we'll take a look at it when it's done. But this is the first part in how to do a dual extraction. Here we go, it's simmering away, and it just barely started simmering. I just barely turned it down, and look at how dark the water is already turning. So this is going to be a very, very powerful decoction when it's done, and I'm really excited about this. All right, so here we are. We're ready for the next step in the dual extraction process, working with our mushrooms. So this mushroom this is just a quick review from my own mind. This mushroom is a red-belted polypore that I found on top of the hill. I went and harvested one of them. You don't ever want to harvest an entire colony of mushrooms. You need to be sure to leave plenty for them to recolonize their little area. So I took a very nice specimen that was about that big, and I chopped it up and I decocted the bits. So this is what's left of the mushrooms after the decoction. So you can see that they're cooked down actually. And this is the actual decoction. I don't know if I can get this lid off. This is frozen. I just went ahead and put the really strong medicinal tea right in this container, and I froze it. I'm going to keep this frozen until the second step of this dual extraction is completed, and that would be the tincture part. So we're going to tincture these mushrooms now. And so these are the same bits that I used for the decoction. And now I'm going to go ahead and add them to my jar, and we are going to tincture them. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow the alcohol to extract even more of the helpful and beneficial constituents that the water doesn't extract. Because again, there are a lot of chemicals in mushrooms that just are not easily extracted, especially the polysaccharides, and we want those in our strong medicines. So this I rarely use. This is 190 proof ethanol alcohol, and it is honestly, it's not my favorite alcohol to use. I rarely use it. There are some cases where you want to use high proof alcohol, and in the case of really tough plants like this one, like the mushrooms, it's beneficial. It just helps get everything extracted better. I could actually use 120 or 150 proof just fine for this tincture. However, I'm going to go with the 190 proof because I actually don't have any 150 or 120 proof right now. Generally what I use is 80 proof. 80 proof works really great for most herbs, but in this case I am using my 190 proof, and I'm going to get a lid on this and give it a good shake and set it in the windowsill and let the extraction process begin. And I'm going to let this tincture for a long time. So most tinctures you want to process for 4 to 6 weeks. This particular tincture, I'm probably going to let go 2 to 3 months, to be honest, just to make sure that everything is extracted as possible. Meanwhile, the decoction portion is going to be sitting in the freezer waiting for the tincture to get done. Once the tincture is done and I strain off the mushrooms, at that point, I'm going to combine my decoction, the water infusion, with the tincture, the alcohol extract. And you might be wondering, well, how do you know what the percentages are? So here's a little tip. Whenever you are combining solvents, in this case water with tincture, you need to be sure that you've got a shelf life that will last a very long time. Anytime you add water to something, you are reducing the shelf life of that product, unless you've got enough alcohol to offset the amount of water that you're adding. So I like to say that you want at least 25, and personally I like to go up to 30% alcohol, pure alcohol, in your end product versus water, okay, which is the decoction portion. So you need to do a little math to figure that out. I actually have a wonderful chart that I made that helps me. I just sat down and did the math one day, and I did it very conservatively, so I am sure that I've got 25 to 30% alcohol, but I've got the ratios of tincture versus the decoction with different strengths of spirits, so that no matter which alcohol I'm using, I'm going to be absolutely 100% sure that I'm putting enough tincture to water in it, just to be sure that it's preserved. So that is it for the decoction and tincturing process. At this point, we're just going to wait for this tincture to be finished, and at that point I'll do a video, so expect this in a month or two. But I'll go over this chart more in depth, and maybe we'll do some math together. And I'm going to be combining my decoction with my tincture at that point and giving this a good taste and seeing how it is. So I'm very excited about this. I just want to mention very quickly too, I hear from people, I don't have time to learn herbs. I don't have time to do herbalism. And I just want to point out that you've seen this whole process has taken literally moments of my life. You just need to know how to do it. And learning herbalism is not difficult if you have support and a community and a mentor. And if you don't have those things, it can be long. It can be a long, hard process. People get overwhelmed and they often quit. But if you've got a person you can ask questions of, if you've got a community that you can get into and ask questions, then you're going to be in a really good place. I just want to mention, I have a membership group. It's called the Confident Herbalist Tribe. There are over 50 master classes on herbal foundation skills, as well as massive numbers of deep dives into plants. I'm talking the phytochemistry, recipes and remedies, all of it, folklore, how the plant was used traditionally, and it's a really great membership. I would love to have you join us. I have a few spots open right now, and I'll put a link down below. You can check it out. I've got different payment options, so it's very affordable for everybody. And I'd like to see you join us in there if you want to really learn herbalism from a Christian perspective, and without the astrology and the occult and witchcraft and all that. And I'd love to see you inside. All right, one other quick mention. Don't forget, if you haven't already, this is going to go away pretty soon. You want to download this 24-page digital book. It's on how to relax using herbs and essential oils. It's extremely helpful. This is actually the title page, not the cover. The cover looks a lot better than this. But anyway, recipes and remedies and different ways you can use herbs and oils to help you relax, sleep better, have more energy, and just emotionally feel better. So this is very helpful. It's free. I'll put the link in the the description below. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it. I would really appreciate that. And hope to see you in the next video. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.